Donald Trump's presidency has been marked by controversy, but few policies have been as divisive as his mass deportation plan. This ambitious and deeply unsettling proposal aims to remove millions of undocumented immigrants from the United States, including a significant number residing in Nevada. The plan has sent shockwaves through communities, raising concerns about its economic, social, and political ramifications. Trump's plan hinges on a simple but daunting premise: deport them all. Trump's vision rests on a foundation of aggressive enforcement. He plans to empower federal agencies, including immigration and customs enforcement, to conduct sweeping raids and detain undocumented immigrants on a massive scale. To achieve this, Trump has called for a dramatic increase in the number of ICE agents, as well as the construction of additional detention centers along the border. This hardline approach has drawn sharp criticism from human rights groups and immigration advocates who argue that it will lead to racial profiling, due process violations, and the separation of families. The economic consequences of mass deportation are equally alarming. Economists warn that removing millions of workers from the U.S. economy would have a devastating impact on businesses, industries, and the nation's overall economic output. A study by the American Immigration Council estimates that mass deportation could cost the U.S. economy upwards of $400 billion annually. This staggering figure reflects the loss of productivity, consumer spending, and tax revenue that would result from the removal of such a large segment of the workforce. The impact on specific industries would be particularly severe. Agriculture, construction, hospitality, and other sectors that rely heavily on immigrant labor would face crippling labor shortages, driving up costs and potentially leading to business closures. Furthermore, the loss of undocumented entrepreneurs who create jobs and contribute to the economy would further exacerbate the economic downturn. Beyond the economic costs, the social impact of mass deportation would be immeasurable. Millions of families would be torn apart as parents are separated from their children, many of whom are U.S. citizens. The trauma and emotional distress inflicted on these families would have long-lasting consequences, particularly for children who are forced to cope with the sudden absence of a parent. Communities across the country would experience a profound sense of loss and fear. The fabric of neighborhoods would be torn as neighbors live in fear of being rounded up and deported. The chilling effect on civic engagement and community cohesion would be difficult to overstate. Section 4. Nevada divided political and business reactions. In Nevada, the reaction to Trump's deportation plan has been mixed. Some political leaders, particularly those aligned with Trump's anti-immigration stance, have expressed support for the plan, arguing that it is necessary to enforce immigration laws and protect national security. However, many others, including Democratic lawmakers and immigration rights groups, have condemned the plan as cruel, impractical, and economically disastrous. They argue that it would disproportionately harm Nevada's economy, which relies heavily on immigrant labor, particularly in the tourism and hospitality industries. Business groups in Nevada have also expressed concerns about the potential impact of mass deportation on the state's economy. The Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce, for example, has warned that deporting a significant portion of the workforce would lead to labor shortages, higher costs, and a decline in tourism. Section 5. The deportation machine. Can it be built? While Trump's deportation plan has sparked widespread fear and uncertainty, its actual implementation faces significant logistical and legal hurdles. The sheer scale of the operation, involving the detention and deportation of millions of people, would require an unprecedented mobilization of resources and manpower. Even if Trump were able to secure the necessary funding and personnel, which is far from certain, the deportation process itself is complex, time-consuming, and subject to legal challenges. Moreover, Trump's plan is likely to face stiff resistance from state and local governments, many of which have enacted policies to limit their cooperation with federal immigration enforcement efforts. Sanctuary cities, for example, have pledged to protect undocumented immigrants from deportation, setting up a potential legal showdown with the Trump administration.